What's up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Tolga, and you are watching a Brick Builder 711 classic video. And of course, if you wonder where the name Brick Builder 711 comes from, you're looking at the source right now. But this video is not a Lego video. This video is a model train video. It's actually a very long anticipated package. 7 pounds in weight. I wonder what's inside. We're about to find out. We're unboxing a very special item, something from our friends at ScaleTrains, and we're about to do a review of it. Brand new release. It arrived at the warehouse last Tuesday. Actually, it was the Tuesday of Hurricane Irma, and they finally invoiced us at the beginning of last week, and well, I'll give the history in a second. And of course, you see a wonderful ScaleTrains catalog, which I also have a copy of it from NMRA National Train Show in Orlando. ScaleTrains decals, which I may apply on a Lego train car of some capacity. Thanks, guys, with a 2-touch. And inside is a pair of Tier 4 GEVOs. And let's see what road name they are. Oh, looky here. It's a bit of bright side action. This is a CSX ET44AH. That is the high radial, high traction Tier 4 GEVO with extra weight and whatever the model classification. So I have a 2016 production with the tapered exhaust stack, and the 2015 production with the original stock exhaust stack, which has actually caused problems at the coal dumpers, which is perhaps why they went with the redesign. Pardon us for being a mess. I was actually scoping through my Atlas locomotives last week. I'm actually setting up a small Q453 photo shoot, and I'm going to slowly open these items up. We're going to do a wonderful on-the-spot unboxing. I'm very excited for these. I was lit up like a kid in the candy store when these came in the mail, and I've heard wonderful things about these models, but of course I'm going to say this before the boxes are open. I'm not going to just be all foamerific about it. There's of course the existent possibility that since it has been through a long journey, 6,000 miles from China to Tennessee to here in Miami at HQ, there's always the eminent possibility that there could be defects and damage. So we're about to find that out. But overall, the initial outlook on these units is that they are stunning. Absolutely stunning. So before we actually show you the locomotive, we're going to do a brief history on the timeline of this product. This is the Tier 4 GEVO. General Electric made it as a response to stricter EPA regulations starting in 2015, when they really tightened the grip and did not allow them to produce Tier 3s for domestic use. So they made that unit, 2015 and 2016 versions, generally customer specific, etc., etc. ScaleTrains announced this product at the end of January 2017. First test shots were shown at the Big E show in Amherst, Massachusetts. And some pre-production runs were displayed throughout the summer in various layouts. Of course, Dylan and I, we got to run the company unit at the National Train Show. Video link is below in the description, by the way. Shameless plug. And of course, they have arrived in-house in September, and it is September 26th, and they are here in Miami. Packaging is very reminiscent of the Athearn Genesis locomotives. We're going to start with the 3279, going in chronological order. Initial impressions, the box is in pretty good shape, except there's maybe one little crinkle there. We're about to finally see this locomotive for the first time in person, even though I got to see a test shot at the National Train Show. Wow. Alright, initial assessment. Looks like the engine arrived okay. This is a 3279. And of course, this product was developed by a very up-and-coming company in the form of ScaleTrains. ScaleTrains is relatively new in the game, but with their fair share of experience. So, of course, there is a lot of that experience, and it shows in this product. Packaging is very similar so far to the Intermountain Tier 3 FEC GEVOs. C4s. In fact, almost everything is exactly identical. And wow, this thing is incredibly stunning. I don't think this video camera can do justice. Here's an initial look at all the details. Incredible. Incredible. Color scheme looks absolutely right. Looks perfect. All detailed parts appear intact. Number board's good. Those are some of the initial checking points. Sun panels, side details. There's just a little bit of a dent in the handrails here. That is very typical. And of course, the special feature of see-through radiator grills back here at the back of the engine. A very stunning touch. And we have our funny mounted K5HLL air horn. Wow. And the 050 hand crane is lifting the engine out of the box and placing it on the concrete flex track. Actually, not so fast. I just remembered it from a video. I have to remove these black plastic finishes in the bottom. And notice the chain on the side, which is a detail never before seen in, well, not very easily seen in HO ScaleTrains. Level of detail is incredible for what we have seen. There we go. The engine is now on the concrete flex track, and I may now use a particular pointy tool to remove the plastic protection so we can get on with the aesthetic review. And I'm doing this in the same exact fashion that I did with the FEC, lifting it up very gently due to the always eminent expectation that the engine may not agree with it. Physically, I am absolutely amazed. They have incredibly hit the nail on the head here. Let's start at the beginning. Start at the very front of the unit. We have our MU hoses, MU cables, ditch lights, which I heard are scaled correctly. There's a bit of debate there. Handrails are scaled pretty much correctly. This knuckle is metal. Apparently, it's like a brown metal, very realistically colored. All details are just as you would expect. People are saying, oh, it's scaled down, it's a little too tiny. I won't let that affect the spirit of this review if their claims are correct. And there's all the particular nooks and crannies of this locomotive. And of course, I'm sure you have seen the other reviews before seeing mine because they got the product quicker than I did. But I will tell you this, in staunch comparison to the FEC units, these things are heavy. And the wheels do turn. They got rotating bearing caps, and apparently this should be the standard going forward. And there's our little bent handrail. Unit looks absolutely flawless. Now, I cannot say that for operations because I do not have any powered DCC track. I can make a faithful attempt to power DC, but it's not something that I wish to risk right away. So there's your CSX 3279, a first run Tier 4 GEVO. Operator's manual is included, of course, and there is the usual information that is of use to the owner of this locomotive. Of course, tip about lubrication, disassembly, catering, etc. Cleaning, not catering. I mean, I don't think you can serve it as food. General CV chart somewhere. CV48 alternate horns and bells. I'm looking for a CV value of okay, we have K5HL horns. This is, as a reminder, this is the LokSound decoder, LokSound version 4. And there is, of course, an instructional manual on ESU's website, and I'm going to be telling you guys later in this video. Sorry that I'm not being very clear I'm just reading the book. This is my first time looking at this, so that shows you how genuine this review is. My first time checking out this manual, and my main point here is there's going to be one correction to a CV programming that I'm going to suggest and test with this locomotive, and that is a CV112, which is the ditch light flash rate, and we'll get to that at a later time. So there's the 3279. We're going to open the 3383, which is the 2016 version. Very gently. Same owner's manual, I'm sure. Initial assessment, engine looks good. Engine looks great, came in one piece, completely intact. Oh, and we're gonna, just as we did for the 3279, 050 it onto the layout, and onto the track. No layout just yet, but there's a layout outside, and I will post a progress video on that layout at a later time, perhaps next week. There's also a spare baggie full of little, I guess these are insulators for the wires. And oh my, this is absolutely impressive. And I'm very pleased that ScaleTrains has actually fixed an error that I spotted on the ET44AH. If you look at the test shots, this lettering here would have said ET44AC, and I made sure to make a point of that at the NMRA show. And even if that wasn't necessarily the case, and I'm just showing around this unit, even if that didn't get them to correct it, I'm glad that they did correct it. This unit on the track, we are going to place it engineer's side. There are very few differences in the design of this unit. Really, at this point, it is for show. Wow. Initial assessment, these PTC antennas may need some adjusting. They look a little loose. I remember there was a point made by James Wright about glue. You could see little tiny swabs of it down there, but overall it doesn't look to be a big bother. It doesn't, even if those are swabs, I don't know if they are, I cannot really tell for sure. I mean, they kind of look like glue marks, but if anything, it's relatively neat. Doesn't look like it'll interfere with the physical quality of the locomotives. Just so you can see what I'm talking about, look very carefully over there. And try to look as carefully over there as possible. The, of course, main difference, as I noted earlier, is the tapered exhaust, and everything else should be more or less just about the same. Bravo. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Here's a scenario view, rather a photo shoot of what looks to be train Q453. Of course with the clutter on the layout, but at least you get a feel for what a train will now look like with the Tier 4s. And of course I hope you guys remember 4305, for those of you that have followed me for a long time. Unfortunately right now the 4305 is a potato because I dropped it by accident on carpet, and the rear trucks just went completely loose and the engine won't run. But the plan is to either get a Gold Series CSX Jeep 39 or buy another Jeep 39 and switch out the shells. The 4s look absolutely stunning in photo shoot light. Of course the train really stretches for miles onwards. This is actually the first time that I put together a model Q453 in my own home. Here I never got to actually set up a freight train with the two tables together. It was all an intermodal show and tell. So right now you're just looking at a pretty new thing, pretty new sight. Enjoy it. We're at Rudy HQ. We're about to test out Tier 4. Let me at least place this camcorder in a good spot. Number of boards are good. That was actually a problem with
Yeah, I shot the shooting around on the highway trying to get ahead of them, and I got fucked by traffic there.
Look at that, you're going
Much crap fighters. There's a tire in the back there, so I'll never see those again.
Faster?
Yeah. So there's a bug here where the ditch lights are flashing a little slowly, so I'm going to go to program. Shoot, how do you do CVs? Okay, this is enter. So I'm going to do a CV. So I'm going to program CV number 112. Give it a shorter value, so I'm going to try 15 because this is a V4 LokSound. And then that's it. See, it's flashing a lot faster now. No, it's actually...
Headlights look fine. I don't know what rhyme...
Let me see.
Oh. They look okay from here.
It's because it's dark in here.
Because it's dark?
Yeah, I have really bright red.
Rear lights do work. There are no ditch.
Yeah. Actually, like, I think they're MK 1500s.
Yeah.
Oh, 4449.
Yeah. Awesome.
That was the most fun I ever had, seriously. One of the most dangerous races I've ever done. I'm so amazed nobody died on that trip. Downward heights of quarter back.
So I lied. The CV value for this is going to be 112 goes to 22.
Hiked up to about that high, the day before.
Watch.
This one only walks past the pipeline.
Oh, yeah.
This is when we stood on the tunnel at the bottom. This is where I went in the bend and these all
I set a new time frame that the ditch lights are going to flash, so I'm going to time it now. I set CV 132 to the maximum value of 255. I'm going to check and see how long that's going to take. I believe it's 30 seconds. I hope it is. If not, I'm going to shorten it. So I'm going to start. Do a horn. Start it at 4 seconds. And we'll see how long it goes, and I'll hit lap as soon as it lapses.
I'm like, I'll be back, Paul. And then I got back in the car. So we jumped out at the busiest intersection.
20 seconds, 18 seconds, it's not too bad. I hope you have enjoyed my review of these amazing ScaleTrains Tier 4 GEVOs. They have done an excellent job. They've put in a lot of effort, and clearly the fruits of their effort are showing. Very vivid, clear as day. Shane and the rest of the crew are very awesome. Customer service is excellent. They have done the best that they possibly could. And of course, no effort is too perfect. Nobody's perfect, and despite whatever few flaws these engines may have, I feel that they did the best that they could. And from my standpoint, I feel that all the hurdles that they have had to jump over are only making them stronger, and that's something that we can look forward to for future productions. Another comment, I would like to thank Rudy for allowing me to test these units on his test track. It's a wonderfully built structure using an NCE DCC system, and serves a very key purpose, such as checking to see if these engines work and if they work properly. And to my pleasure, they have sailed very smoothly. These are flawless locomotives operationally, and it was a very kind gesture of him to incorporate that into our SFRM get-together that happened last night. So with that said, I would like to thank you all for watching. Look forward to seeing these pulling massive amounts of freight in future runs. We got Echoes events coming up, we got op sessions, and of course the HO scale layout that I'm building, and many more HO scale layouts that are going to pop up soon. So from HQ, signing off for tonight, this is TE out.